There's 3 people in the chat that are doing their job.
I just hear knocking all of a sudden.
Yo,
I
talk
am
about the
wondering
match.
Who is
Leave
the
me
second
alone.
person not doing their job? Anyway, we are here putting on our professional hats now. SIMSTAB and XFINESSE, winner side of top 8. Everybody seeds in on winners here. God damn, SIMSTAB in the green, XFINESSE in the purple. I'm not a fan of the race of the Formula 1 Ed costume. I gotta tell
Oh,
you.
I think it's fantastic. This looks great. They cashed in on the big Formula 1 pop-off in the middle of the pandemic. Everybody got into Formula 1. It's fantastic. But all right, finally just chipping away here. SIMSTAB avoided getting stunned, but can't really make any headway here. Finally gets the activation, which you'll notice SIMSTAB going with V-Trigger 2 and XFINESSE going with V-Trigger 1. Going to be a little bit of a mix-up here. Might not even see XFINESSE get a chance to activate. Just doing such good damage here with these 1-2-3s.
Yeah, you can see they're just waiting it out, using that V skill to get through the fireball. SIMSTAB had to try to generate some sort of opportunity for themselves to get forward. And I think the thing with XFINESSE, I very rarely see him off of that V-Trigger one. And I think it's because even their worst case scenario is they, force 2 or 3 different, hit grab mix-up situations where even if you take the throw, they get the whole screen and like 3 throws worth of damage for just their 2-bar V-Trigger.
Yeah, it's just so much use on it, and you get a lot of V reversal. So even if you V reversal once, you're still likely to be able to use your V trigger later in the round. But all right, SIMSTAB trying to get some pressure started here. Went for the upper activation here. Just has this corner. Let's see if he's able to get any of this pressure going here. Hit, throw, mix up, and XFINESSE just willing to take it there right until it's good for him. And now he's going to get this big old activation. Spend it if you have to.
Ooh. Managed to squeeze every bit of damage out of that in order to close that one out and take this first game here. XFINESSE draws first blood, showing the stylistic difference between the V-Triggers, making a bigger deal. I feel like SIMSTAB, between both of those rounds, got to activate, but the most they got out of that was forcing that one mix-up, and nothing really came of it. So I think, I don't know if they're just trying to hope for, like, a higher cash out, or if they're just afraid to use it to set these mix-up situations, but I wish they would play towards a little bit more stability.
Yeah, well, finding a lot of stability with low forward into flicker, but challenge a lot in the neutral immediately after by XFINESSE with a lot of stand mediums and stand fierces. And now just look at this complete domination. How
God.
late that fireball connected. Didn't spin the meter to get the stun, but got the shim sham. Thank you, ma'am, there.
You reach, I teach. Stay all the way over there. I'm demoting you back to the pit crew. Oh, nice trade, but these jab checks. I think another thing that's going on here is you can see that SIMSTAB keeps trying to walk those extra couple of pixels and get to a spot where they seem like they feel more comfortable, and XFINESSE just keeps catching them out for it. The whole cadence of this match is SIMSTAB walking in and eating whatever XFINESSE is serving.
Right, because, and here's the other thing, SIMSTAB's been walking in because XFINESSE has always been just out of range of everything. We saw so many whiffs there that got whiff punished immediately. SIMSTAB tries to go in to close the gap so that things don't whiff, gets preemptively kind of checked there. It just could not get anything started. XFINESSE just had everything going. But as a reminder, this is a first to 3. We're going to update the Battle Lounge settings so that we don't forget and get back into it, get this final game. But it is looking rough for SIMSTAB. Just feels a little bit shakier, just trying to control the neutral. XFINESSE is just walking and using his tools very well, because you're not just seeing him walk up and push low forward, walk up and push low strong. It's sometimes using stand medium kick, sometimes using stand fierce,
Yes.
using roundhouse, using low forward, using low strong, like a variety of tools here just to make sure that they're doing the best that they can at every range.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. And I think, what it speaks to is that, SIMSTAB needs to make an adjustment in the neutral game here. And I think my gut instinct is that you would hope that the adjustment would be like, all right, they're standing outside of your range and inviting you in, and you're walking in and eating the limbs. So you need to hold your ground in that spot and force XFINESSE to try to be the one to make a play and control the space. But if SIMSTAB doesn't feel comfortable with that, like if SIMSTAB doesn't feel as though, I don't know what's going on here, I think maybe they didn't pick the stuff they wanted to pick. Hopefully they'll come to either chat or Discord to clarify.
No, I think
or
just
maybe
a way
chunky.
maybe answer the door. I don't know. We haven't seen
so
any of the matches go to time, so I'm not really concerned about it.
I think SIMSTAB was a little confused on the first to 2, first to 3, because they asked if it was first to 3 in the Discord. So I think they kind of got mixed by going back to the lobby, which is, again, my fault. Sorry, chat.
No worries here. Always hyped to see more Street Fighter, and so more Street Fighter is what we're going to see. The gray hoodie this time, though, for SIMSTAB locked in this corner, but reacting like a madman to that forward medium. And going to get the activation here as well. Let's see if we're going to see any of this mix. Maybe not at all. It's XFINESSE with the big old pop. So much damage there, and just needs one more confirm.
Yeah, and see, there we are. SIMSTAB wanted to take their turn really desperately to try to get out of the corner, and I think what they wanted was to be like, well, once I get my turn back, I can cash out on my V-trigger, start to cycle my offense, and maybe make some of this happen. What I was going to say was I liked that they were instead waiting at a slightly farther out range and trying to rely on, see, look at that, counter jab into flicker, or using the V-skill to contend with the fireball, and you have the life lead. XFINESSE needs to be the one that's coming to you, and you are already finding a little bit more room to open up your dash pressure game. Finding a nice shimmy there, but gets jumped in on because they overcommitted to the fireball.
Yeah, that's definitely the rough spot here. Now look at this. XFINESSE just getting so many chances there. Beat out the V reversal there. But, you know, at the very least, SIMSTAB got away from that V trigger, got away from all the extra mixes, but not away from playing this footsies game. Low forward into the confirm. Now has this corner controlled. Nice anti-air. Couldn't get out the corner, but we are just still playing much better here at SIMSTAB. A lot more control throughout all of this right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Just doing a better job waiting out their turns a little bit more, trying to invite these responses out of XFINESSE. Hit him with the exclamation point. Oh, if you were a little bit more ready, that could have been the round on the whiff punish there on the V-skill. Instead, has to bust out with the EX cycle upper. It had to happen eventually. We hadn't seen one yet.
Yeah, he sent it, dude. It's actually the second one we've seen. We saw one last game, but this one actually ended up working out. This one was the good one. All right, but XFINESSE seems undeterred from this, starting this round with a maybe even more determined mindset here, looking a little bit better in the spacing game until getting clipped by that jab, but just right back in there. Counter hit conversions. Let's go.
I think once XFINESSE is in the driver's seat and SIMSTAB is on the back foot, that's where XFINESSE is really surgically opening this up, and that's exactly what they did there, is they close out that round and the set with the 3-0. I think once they got in range, like their frame trap game, the way that they were sort of inviting a response out of SIMSTAB specifically to punish them for it, SIMSTAB was just eating it up, hook, line, and sinker. But I think what SIMSTAB demonstrated in that previous round was, like, when they were playing this longer neutral, they were finding those adaptations there. I think XFINESSE got the better of it once there and kept the gas going. And SIMSTAB also demonstrated that even if neutral is taken off of the table, they were struggling defensively as well.
Yeah, just absolutely right the entire time. And the other thing that I was really thinking, like, whenever there was SIMSTAB with a life lead, like in the mirror match, like if you have the lead, you guys have the same tools. So if you guys are playing the same ranges or trying to play the same ranges, right? So if you have the life lead, you get to back off. Your opponent has to try to, they're the one that have to work to close that gap, right?
To harp on that too much longer, because we are jumping over to our next game, Young Matt Teen versus Brian F. Jumping down to the other half of the bracket. Young Matt Teen on the Sakura, Brian on the Oro. No great surprise there.
Oh my goodness, starting strong too with the jumping over the fireball. A lot of people that play a fireball character will throw the fireball round start just to see how your opponent reacts. Maybe you don't throw it every time, but you got to test them round start, first round. And now you can see Young Matt getting these couple of hits, starting this offense pressure here, using the big old fireball just to pressure Brian here. Got another toss up, now has this corner control coast to coast basically off of 3 interactions here.
Her standing short is so good. I still think she might have the best stand short for Shotos in this game.
I have to agree with you. It goes so far. I think Ken's the only one that, like, really does more, but that's just because he gets a heavy DP off of it and starts all of his pressure. Just like how Brian F starts all of his pressure here on this activation combo, going to be able to get the kill, take round number 1.
Yeah, brought up a little dinosaur, was able to bank all of that bar as well. So now sitting with a decent amount of Bar here to bring in for this next one on the back foot immediately as Young Mateen finds that pickup. No hit confirm off of that low forward, but the screen control position I was gonna say is pretty good. Brian chooses to send out the V skill. Wow! Counter hit through the gap with a sweep.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, he called him out, but was not ready to pick it up. The charge V-trigger fireball right there. That gives you a lot of damage, but activation here kind of in a rough spot. Didn't have a lot going for him. Like, it wasn't a good cancellation. But Young Matt just smothering with the offense there, and that back throw did a huge grip of damage.
Right, throwing out the EX fireball, just using it as an opportunity to get back in. But I feel like there's a couple of these spots now where Brian is leaving these really wide gaps, and it seems like Young Mateen is really consistently responding with standing short or low forward. Or there, every time we see that towards strong, it's a sweep.
Yeah, but now locking in this corner, was looking for the anti. Brian desperately had to jump back there. And Young Matt wasn't ready to punish the jump back, but now just keeping this corner pressure high. But we're going to see the activation here just a second, I imagine, from Brian, if he's able to find the opportunity. Jump yourself into the corner. Is it worth it?
Oh,
no,
no,
because you dropped the combo. You need the stand short there, I think, in order to combo from stand jab. It won't do it itself. And Brian, easy cleanup for game one.
That is wild. I'm watching on the playback because I don't know if it was my Discord feed that lagged there or if maybe it was something that they experienced on CFN side, but it got a little chonky right there where that link drop happened. And they absolutely had, I truly believe they had the damage there in order to make that happen. What a real shame. But the first game going to Brian, but you know, to Young Mateen, shake it off. You played that whole game great. It's first to 3. You have plenty of time.
Yeah, Matt definitely had a lot of great ideas, a lot of good stuff. Just a small execution error at the end, maybe due to lag, maybe just messing up. But you know, you can't let that get you down. You know, you got to keep your gameplay high, and we've seen like a lot of good stuff here. Who missed the juggle though, but still has this nice life lead. I say as he gets hit with the EX, still going to be a little bit strong, but you have to deal with this Oki pressure.
Right, raw activation, the screen freeze gives them the confidence to bust out with the EXDP. I love the way that Young Mateen is using that V-trigger, just uses the single little pulse of the V-trigger as just a little sanity check. Just a little like, word, this has got a lot of priority, I get to take a turn after, let's just get a finger on the pulse. And the amount of times that it's like a forward dash into stuff after to chase a back dash, so crazy. Young Mateen looking tenacious. That was awesome.
People listen, I was going to move past it. But yeah, Young Matt definitely using a lot of the plus arms off of that orb to close the gap and think make his opponent think twice. But look at this, EX Tatsu into activation, just backed all the way off, barely dodged that up fireball. Oh my goodness, and Brian F getting the better end of that situation now. Good block on the mix, and now we just can slow this pace down. That's definitely what Matt needs a little bit here.
Okay, that fireball hits hella meaty, but there's this perfect range that Matt is finding where he's getting all of these counter hits, but I feel like at the same time, in that range, they're not getting the confirms off of these counter hits. Activation coming out from Brian, gonna be able to close out that round. Didn't need a whole lot more in the tank, and they had far more than they needed. Okay.
All right, willing to take some risk round start with the throw bait just to make sure that you don't end up in the corner. But now look at this. Young Matt was doing some good spacing, but tried to get too antsy, and Brian F was there to meet him with the EX upper, landed other side, beat out whatever Young Matt was trying to do there.
Okay, and now Brian is catching out Young Matt's tendency to counter poke a little bit, but that standing short is still so good. Just to bust out with another reversal DP there. Does Brian now going for something of a fireball game, but these falling shorts off of the weird double jump interaction, Matt has not found the answer yet. No, drops the juggle again.
Yeah, that definitely could have been into a critical art. Gonna go for it here, but nah, that's not gonna be it. Just got a little panicky right towards the end. Maybe was looking for an EXCP or something. Got jab, light upper into super. Maybe just a reversal super. Seems like a weird situation. Wasn't gonna work out either way. Brian F was full block in there, had no reason to press, had a good life lead, just big chillin'.
Yeah, I think we're finding just the erosion of like, there might have been like 5% difference between these two in game one. It was so extraordinarily close, and what I think is happening is, you know, we're watching the erosion of that gap as young Matt Teen is sort of struggling to contend with, like, wow, you can see that they're getting a little bit frustrated, making some of these wilder decisions. And meanwhile, Brian is honing in on what's working.
Ooh, raw sweep there, not working out very well for young Matt. Now look at this stuck in the blender here. Brian F is willing to go for it. Set up the orb. No, setting up the fireball game here.
Right. Nice jump. Okay, going for an air-to-air this time. I do like that even now in Game 3, young Mateen is still trying out some new things and is not just willing to sit on their laurels. Counter hit starter. That chunkiness again. Finding a low forward. Nothing really comes of it. We're mashing out the crouching jabs.
Oh, caught him! Oh, I thought the fireball was going to make it
I thought
better,
so
but...
too.
Instead, it was just the activation out of Brian F to take his turn and find the hit. Young Matt did not want to respect the stones there. Oh.
Okay.
Hey, things getting a little choppy. Maybe not seeing it right. Gonna try to pause, but we in there. I don't think it'll matter too much here. We're just kind of throwing fireballs, trying to get through it. And yo, beat out the stand fierce that was there, and now we're just running the young Matt show. Got the overhead from downtown.
Okay, we don't find the anti-air off of that, though. It was a little bit too late. We were still recovering from the low short. All right, the same trade interaction, but this time we're too far away. Activation through. Oh my god, that's messed up.
Oh, and he went for it again. Just out of options there. But yo, gonna mash again because the combo dropped.
Yeah, Matt is 1,000,000,000% just sending it right now.
When you got nothing on the line, there's nothing left to do. But Brian F, similar boat, was basically a hit away from losing a round and not taking this with a clean 3-0. So just mash it out with the EX reversal, and that's going to move him into winner side topters. It's a bookie. Yeah. Now that there's no competitive pressure, back to the bay.
How many times have we watched this set now, Doc?
A lot. Actually, when we were still running double eliminations, this exact matchup happened 2 to 3 times a night on stream. Because it would happen in either the first round of top 8 or winners finals, and then they would meet again in grand finals. And after the first couple schlackings that, you know, Shine received, they then got with the program and started resetting the bracket. So we would easily see this matchup 3 times a night.
Game sound kind of mad low. Can't hear anything, says Brian.
Got you. Crank that up. Sorry, guys.
All right, we got to go in this. Oh my goodness, early dagger there, going to clip the dome, but not able to get any plus from there. Now you got to deal with his activation.
And this is that same spot where I had talked about it earlier, right? Shine using the V-shift V-break there, but you can tell that Shine is using it in a spot where they know what the outcome is going to be, and not like other people where I feel like you can watch people flounder on it a little bit. Okay, situation mark to try to close that one out. Chip damage gonna slowly add up, but this is still a one-touch game for either player. You have to be worried about that low forward. Every time there's a blocked flicker, it's like right in the spot where Shine can still contend with that poke, and that A skill is gonna matter. But the flicker working out that time for XFINESSE with almost 10 seconds left on the clock for that round.
Yeah, it looks like Shine tried to get a little cheeky there right at the end, try to steal some extra space with like a dash or maybe a jump. Instead, just got met with the 1-2-3 straight to the face.
Catching out that one bar for tons of corner carry here is Shine. Oh, the TK, Kunai, big damage. And the throw to get for the stun. What a clean round out for Shine. We're going to see Max Kunai release. It's going to be one more touch per game. Text the throw this time to XFINESSE. And we have to worry about what's going to happen with the V-Trigger 1. But you can absolutely make this situation happen. Just V-shift to reset back, and we've nullified it. Trade works out great for Shine.
Yeah, and again, you talked about it a little bit earlier with this V-trigger. Like some people go for the V-break and end up in a bad situation, which is where that spot would have been if Shine chose to go forward there. Instead, just choosing to back off, get that extra bit of space, but no space this time. XFINESSE pushed straight to the corner, used the V-reversal, used the EX Kunai, was able to get the strong confirm just to tie up the game, but at a great cost of some resources here. right, they're just trying to poke out the sand light, kick the sand jab, just trying to see who's going to get hit first. The 1-2-3 actually going to be able to seal the deal. Start a lot of this pressure, but we got the V-trigger activation, take the back throw, don't have to deal with the kunai, excuse me, the shuriken mix-up at all.
Finds that throw, wants the plus frames off the EX kunai. I like the whiff punishment there on the standing medium kick. You know, Ed's standing medium kick has that sort of upwards hitbox to it, so I think, you know, Ibuki being a little bit shorter when she's crouching, it's a good spot where Shine just sort of sticking that out, be like, you can't really rely on this tool unless you know that I'm going to be jumping in or you're, you know, walking forward if we're playing footsies or something. But if I'm just crouching in front of you and you know, moving around, or you're moving around, like, it's not really going to deal with me if I'm just crouching and waiting it out.
Yeah, and it was also so perfect because Shine saw that XFINESSE had that V-trigger stand medium kick activation is a very common route that's very good, and just didn't even let him get that started, and was able to kind of keep that corner pressure high and not have to deal with the V-trigger activation. But look at this, the knee just doing damage there. Stacked so much gray left to crush. Now the throw, one more for the stun. Going to be able to get out though with the 1-2-3 exclamation point. Needs to find a good point to activate, but going to stack some damage first. That's so good for this. Now you get this good old setup. This orb's going to travel the entire screen.
No. Shine surrendered so much space and then picked their spot to try to be like, now I'm going to get past it. Damn, wake up jab into the V-trigger. You can tell that they play with Idon still in the tech and now backing off using the kunai for a slightly slower game. Oh, the low forward connects, closing out another round here for Shine.
It's one of the things where the kunai is probably not plus there, but if you don't take your turn fast enough, the hit stun is really, really fast on the kunai, so you got to be fast when you're going to be pressing that button right after it. If you're too slow, Ibuki's going to definitely take that dub, but nice neutral jump here, taking the corner situation, stacking up some of that V-meter to toss up one time. Here we go, the big old damage. Wants the perfect stun, just looking for this one touch, but allows Shine to get this space. All right, but 1-2-3 exclamation point, put him back into the corner. Do it again just to seal the deal and to try to tie it up one apiece here, but Shine still on the, still looking really good here. Got a little bit run over there, but you can't always rely on this, on the steamroll rounds to always be consistent, especially against top players. Where they can kind of shut your momentum down, but XFINESSE, aware of this momentum stopping that Shine can do, not really letting him do it here.
Oh my god, finding the link off of the low forward there for the counter hit, and now having XFINESSE back up against the wall. Plenty of resources like you had called out. Well, that paid for itself. Finds the stun. We're going to get max kunai release. Oh, air kunai release off the EXDP for even more damage. We had a little bit more in the back for the additional juggle points. We did not even need it. Shine up 2-0 now. And I asked at the top of it to be like, how many times have we seen this? With the expectation of like, I'm so used to seeing this go XFINESSE's way because like Doctor had said, for a while it looked like Shine was dropping down into losers when they would play, and then you'd see the run back in grands. Really an adjustment coming out here from Shine, clearly over all the times that these two have played one another.
All right, but starting this third game a little bit slow. Looked like a missed kunai attempt, or maybe just an early jump medium, but right now XFINESSE just able to get the better of these trade outs, just walking into this 1-2-3 range and waiting for Shine to kind of panic a little bit.
Backdash earns Shine the space to get that V-trigger. Damn, stayed same side on the teleport. So smart. Your expectation is going to be that they're going to want to get out of the corner. So XFINESSE definitely wanted to block the cross-up. Went for the V-skill, but the trade works out in XFINESSE's favor that time. And ending with the V-skill, so the V-trigger is now available for XFINESSE, not that they're going to need it.
Yeah, what I really liked about that V-skill versus Stand Fierce trade-off between XFINESSE and Shine was usually Ibuki's the one that pulls the hurt box back and gets the free hit, but XFINESSE just held that Fierce a little bit extra time and got the better of the situation. Got that basically auto whiff punish on the V-skill one from Ibuki. As I've been talking about all of that, Shine was able to build up the V-trigger, use the V-trigger, and put XFINESSE in this corner here, looking for the Shim Sham. No biting here from XFINESSE. Is willing to take as many throws that you have here.
Activation comes out from XFINESSE. Damn, stayed same side as well. There's a lot of just barely not making it out of the corner, and that being the mix-up here. Nice whiff punishment on XFINESSE's behalf there. Not quite getting the anti-air on the cross-up situation. Shine finds the throw. Oh, that trade works out great for Shine. Depending on the touch, one more thing could do it. It's going to depend on what the touch is, though.
Yeah, Shine with no meter means that it's going to be a little bit more than one touch. Now definitely a one-touch game. Looking for just this one kunai when XFINESSE is walking forward. Going to use it to get in, and then you had the option there between a forward jump instant overhead or the low short there. And sometimes you just guess wrong, and Shine's now on match point to move into winners finals. Who's going to be able to take it? XFINESSE has been playing out of his mind, but Shine has just been that extra step ahead.
And this is now set point for Shine to move on to winners finals. See, okay, jab check out of XFINESSE, cashing out some of those resources, get a little bit of extra damage and corner carry, but Shine is just doing, damn, even the way that Shine is being willing to like really use stand short and kind of trade into XFINESSE off of it, like it's just dissuading XFINESSE enough that XFINESSE needs to back off, and it opens up the kunai game or the low forward of the V skill.
Yeah, but there the kunai a little bit too low, got punished for it. Had to, or didn't have to, but chose to spin the bar to back the pressure off, get out of the corner, reset to neutral a little bit here. Especially when you're on set point, you just want to make sure that you're spinning all your meter and all of your resources, just trying to make sure that you can close this out as easily as possible. You don't want to give any momentum to your opponent.
Trigger out of XFINESSE, swings and misses really, just largely blocked out, not even finding the throw. Damn, the bust out with the EX Psycho upper. Shine smoked on the counter hit, a little bit impatient. 25 seconds approximately left on the clock. Shine clearly starting to feel the heat under the collar a little bit and just wants to activate. XFINESSE hones in on that, tightens up the block strings, and gets a game on the board.
Yeah, it really came from a point in situation where a little bit down in life, down in resources, like Shine literally just needed one touch in order to close this out, and you take that risk. You use the EX upper, you get the hit, you find the momentum, and you hope that this is enough to carry you 3 games straight. But Shine's looking to not let that happen at all. Grip up one time here, gonna play the neutral now.
Flicker connects. Shine is getting a lot of mileage out of these jump-ins now. XFINESSE actually choosing that opportunity to walk forward. Damn, you thought that was masterful baiting from Shine to XFINESSE. All of those jumps at that range to invite XFINESSE to walk forward, and then the second Shine gets countered, pulling out the cape to mess up that pattern out of XFINESSE. The V-trigger keeps them safe from the regular cycle upper, but now V-trigger off the table. Shine still has their own V-trigger, and while they're on the back foot up against the corner, all they need is just enough breathing room to activate, and they're going to be able to stabilize this, but they're not being given that breathing room. Has to bust out, spend the 2 bars on the EX reversal into the kunai to close out that round and stabilize. We are back on set point, but oh my god, Shine managed to be wrong. XFINESSE slowly closing the trap around them for their entire life bar.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Shine saw the light at the end. Is like, if I'm going to spend 1 bar to get out of this, I might as well spend the second to take the round. But XFINESSE feeling the heat. He's like, if I can make Shine have to EXCP, I can make him have to do it again. Stacking this pressure here as much as possible here. Look for the EX reversal. Instead, it was the backdash. Find the activation point. Now Shine has the opportunity to get the pressure started here, but the V shift going to slow it down a bit, but not enough. Shine is in there, just chasing down backdash after backdash. Ooh. Where are you trying to go? Stay in this corner.
Yo, Shine will not miss a back strong anti-air. Goes for the empty jump low. It doesn't
go
too far away off the pickup. What a shame. Any touch could stun. XFINESSE is so on the back foot.
Okay.
Shine is sliding into the DMs right now. XFINESSE is backed off so far. Shine just wants to block the V-trigger, and I love that choice. But, oh my god, what a masterful throw bait out of XFINESSE. Shine still has a very slight life lead, but you need to worry about the punctuation mark. 1 flicker into EX could spell death here for Shine.
Oh, but instead the big old crush from Shine with the forward roundhouse going to be enough to take the rest of XFINESSE's life and move forward into the winners finals of our lovely tournament here after the ladder. Shine just killing it right there. Was able to slow the pace of that match down to where he needed it, but like before that was just like rapid fire, rapid fire.
I was gonna say is I think High Speed Chaos is gonna be willing to sort of hit that the same way. And I swear I felt like I heard you say High Speed Chaos.
Chaos? Yeah.
Which immediately made me think of like High Speed Chows, which had me thinking of Sonic Adventure 2. And now I'm just wondering, what did they feed the Chows to make the High Speed Chows?
I don't know. I say Chaos because of Joe Monday. So.
Oh, that'll do it.
One of the old r/Street Fighterisms is always mispronounce people's names.
Oh right, Space Bois.
Space Ball. High Speed Chaos.
It's funny because I actually
there's so
just
many.
watched Sonic 2 over the weekend, and I've had the Sonic, whatever that Saturday morning cartoon theme song was, where it's like Sonic on the run, Sonic. That one's been stuck in my head for like 2 weeks
That's
now
Sonic
too.
X.
Yeah,
Sonic
that one,
X?
Sonic
I can't
X.
believe I remember that.
Yeah, like that's been stuck in my head, and it's great that you brought that up.
I can't
Wait a
believe
minute,
High Speed Chaos
I
used
did
the
not-
costume code.
I
never
didn't know this
seen
had a costume code.
Why would you use it? The first costume looks so good.
This is actually
This
kind of
is-
sick, but what is this
it-
like Rising Thunder ass costume doing on the screen?
Also, why does the head kind of look like the brain is like showing, like it's a Nomu?
Don't worry about it.
Ooh.
Also, fucking weeb.
What is a Nomu?
What is a Nomu, says Yost. All right.
Damn,
we'll
you are a
educate you
boomer.
in a
That's a
minute.
that's a young man show too.
That's the wild part. Yost
Nobody
definitely
tell-
out here.
I
like, if
told
it
you he
wasn't
was
in
old.
Steven
Nobody
Universe-
believed me.
If it's not in Steven Universe, I don't know what it is. High Speed.
I've
Chaos,
never
Astro-
watched that show either.
That's a lie. Don't lie to the people. Ooh, High Speed Chaos with the hit confirms on the step kick. Nice pickup. We're gonna cash
Ooh,
all the way
big
out. We want the
bend it
big
big.
lead. You know what? I'm gonna say it with my call it like I see it right now. The fact that the robot Ken's mouth still moves in the CA, that's supposed to be a mask in my head, and I don't like that it moved. And you deserve this ass whooping that you're taking right now. Hold this L. Don't ever do this costume code again.
Costume code is fine. But in all honesty, spending the super that early kind of removes your one-touch game potential, and it just gives full V-trigger bar to Brian, which allows him to hit that lovely combo. Sometimes you got to play around the range of V-trigger that your opponent is trying to get in order to make their big damage. Sometimes it's better to leave them a little bit higher life and feel more comfortable in the neutral, where you sound like, oh, if I get touched by a low medium, I just die.
Pick up from High Speed Chaos. Nice confirm on the back strong. That's maybe one of I think the most transferable skills in a Street Fighter 6. Like the Ken players in 5, or any of the players that have been playing characters with the hit confirmable low forwards, that's probably the most applicable Street Fighter 6 skill. So these people are going to be eating great, I think. Nice pick up there from Brian, but it wasn't the right Tatsu for any further damage off of that.
Ooh, check powerful walk forward there. High Speed Chaos was looking for the walk forward backdoor so that he could have the corner advantage. But we're just going to get the raw activation, get this advantage just to try to
Ooh.
close it out. Found the hit, but didn't get the confirm. But it doesn't matter. The trade right there is going to be plenty to give Brian up another round.
Okay, and that crouching strong, it's such a great poke. It's really giving people problems. Not finding an anti-air there on that jump in, but Brian's comfortable to just walk forward and keep the neutral spacing. Nice whiff punish on a High Speed Chaos, but doesn't commit off of the standing short. That's another thing where you were talking about when Was Up Eddie played earlier. It ended up pretty clear that there were spots where he would commit to the DP after stand short. And I think High Speed Chaos looks much more comfortable with the range on that as well. You see that they're not committing if it doesn't look as though it'll work.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at this juggle combo that Brian is hitting here. Has that dinosaur, so gets a little bit of an extension there. Now just needs one touch to kill. Can't be the throw, and there it is. The Shim Sham, thank you, ma'am. Going up 2-0.
Okay, Okay, that's 2 games up now. And what adjustments do you think we need to see out of High Speed Chaos? I feel like that slower game that you had said that High Speed Chaos is capable of playing, I definitely think that we've seen elements of it, but I think that there's something lacking, and I don't know if it's that they need to bring a little bit more intensity to it because Brian's buttons just seem better equipped, or what. I don't know what you think.
I mean, it can definitely be, you know, pushing your advantage a little bit, right? We did see that Brian was willing to go with an EX reverse on that high speed chaos, got the block on it, but ooh, look at that. Blocked so much that Brian ended up with a hit confirm error. Ooh, but counter hit jab, missed the throw. Now back in the corner, losing a lot of that momentum that he built up. I think it's a lot of this. Brian's defense has just been really, really good. But maybe throw in some more jumps. Brian, Kin is notoriously difficult to anti-air with the low hitting jump fierce and the options to use regular air tatsu and EX air tatsu to just kind of change the jump arc kind of magically. But again, one of the large difference makers is how these stones have been used. Finding these little hit confirms, able to get this last bit of damage to close it out. It's really been the difference maker for Brian F finding the activation points. So either learning how to deal with stones a little bit better, so just being a little bit more patient, respect the stones, take the throws, even in neutral and poking, right? Just give that little bit of space, or find the opportunity to get good damage like right on the threshold where it's harder for Brian to activate and do a bunch of damage. Like at this range, you can, if you get a good hit into a hit confirm, you could have like killed before V-Trigger was really a problem, or like at least a next touch kill situation. But now you got stones in your face. You dodged the throw because he was 2+, but still getting tossed up.
Right, and now you have to deal with it. And I hope that you just, oh my god, I literally looked away from the screen for half a second to like look up at the health bars and miss the mix
that
up,
one's
but
tough.
I did not miss that one. I got mixed so hard that it broke my understanding of the English language. Goddamn, Brian. Thank you.
Here's the hardest thing there. When somebody double dashes up on you like that, you're pure Street Fighter 5 instinct after years of No, you don't just get to say that and then dip, Doc. Get back here.
I think that Doc secretly loves being the stream producer instead of the commentator because he could just drop little nuggets that ruin us and then move on. And he doesn't have to deal with the fallout.
Speaking about the fallout,
I say, at least I do it live. Most stream producers won't have their mic hot to the stream, and they'll just say the most foul stuff in the commentary ear, and they'll have no one will have any idea. You'll just have to deal with it.
I've definitely done that to people.
So rude.
It's very funny. But what's not funny right now, Brian getting gripped up, pushed to this corner. Almost sitting on V-Trigger, but Shine looking to find a way to activate his. Did the fake command dash forward. Is going to be able to not confirm the rest of the combo as a want plays in my ear.
Ooh. I love that counter poke crouch jab. Not getting anything off of that. Damn. The crouching strong destroys the kunai, but Shine has such a healthy life lead here. Any opportunity to do like EX kunai into plus frames or just connect with a low forward in that spot where Brian needs to try to do for like a knee or a low forward into Tatsu to make something happen. First round.
It was actually the whiff punish on the stand fierce. We saw young Matt doing that a fair bit too, but oh my goodness. Wake up reversal EXCP wanted nothing to do with that command dash Oki setup. Now we're just trying to chilling out here in neutral. Brian trying to get aggressive here, dashing forward in the neutral, but then found the range to the corner where it's just not beneficial to move forward anymore. Rather wait for Shine to make that mistake, and is able to keep this corner game strong. I say as he directly gets hit in the face. Shim Sham, thank you, man, but bust out. Why am I getting a Discord call?
Why are you getting a Discord call?
What just happened?
Oh, busting out, not respecting the stones, but hey, if you have a tool that lets you disrespect the stones, you may as well. Unfortunately, the situation does not stabilize there for Shine the way that he wanted it to, and Brian is able to close out that round.
Ugh, sorry about that. You know, when you get a phone call, somebody's trying to coach you on a commentary middle of mid-set.
It's definitely tilting. I've been there.
The mid-set coaching?
Don't worry about it.
Right, finding the throw here to Shine, and you can tell I like that Shine tries to cycle in V skill in order to get back that V gauge in some of these spots. But I think what's happening is Brian is recognizing that tendency, finding when Shine is at that like sliver where he's really going to rely on V skill, and is bringing in a lot of verticality in response to it. Thankfully, that round still ended up working out for Shine. He was able to close it out, despite the fact that, you know, I think Brian had overcommitted to like the double jump and wasn't able to get the punish when they went to the air.
Let me ask you a question, Brad. You got a college degree?
I do.
Yeah, you got to say verticality instead of just jumps.
Yep.
He's hitting you with the Z axis.
Mm-hmm.
No, the Z-axis is back and front. XY is up, down, left, right.
Look, Doctor's not good at geometry. We all know this.
I also do not have a college degree, so take that.
He's got us there. I don't know how we're supposed to make fun of him for not having a college degree. All right, +2 again on this Shuriken activation, but the back they're going to be all in Brian S' favor here, just trying to play out the rest of this neutral, and the poke down there. Two in the something.
You can't say that on my Christian live stream.
I didn't say anything. I said 2. 2 fingers.
Yeah, you can't say the number 2. It's against my religion.
Oh, well, I got 2 minutes.
Banned.
I don't know where we're going with this. Anyway, Shine with a life lead, but down the round here in this game too. It's sitting on tons of resources. The low forward connects, and now we're sitting with plenty of... No, the back throw from Brian gets them a fair degree of control, but the interactions with the overhead versus the low forward have proven really interesting so far in this set.
Yeah, but it looked like a drop out of Brian there that's going to get him in some trouble. Guess for game situation. Guess right that time, but still in a rough spot here. Plus frame straight. And here's the activation. Good blocks out of Shine.
Right, the rocks are gone. Shine managed to block out all of that, and you're still gonna get hit there? Come on!
You can't see me, but as soon as Shine got hit, my hands were up. I was just like, come on, like exactly how Brad said it. Just come on, dude. That's how you get hit. You block all the stones, and the delay stand fierce hits you. But good stuff for Brian. Trying everything in his wheelhouse in order to mix up Shine, staying in front, going behind. But hold palm to the head. Apparently all that you need. Oh my goodness, excellent reaction. Came down from the neutral jump with the heavy DP to beat out the V skill charge up.
Ooh, interesting choice of anti-air there from Shine, but I feel like what's happening here is Brian is slowly but surely getting a read on like how he needs to use his buttons, and damn, look at that, right? Shine wants to go for that V skill so they can do V skill into V trigger, and Brian's like, nope, I can advance and control this space faster than you. And I think it's just between the normals and the specials, Brian just feels like they have a read on the pace of this matchup.
Yeah, and when he has that read on the pace, he's much more willing to scrap it out, play a much more like riskier game, a lot more neutral jumps, a lot more like perfectly spaced knees on like well timed as well, like knowing when it's going to be the most effective. But Shine doing everything in his part to steal back some of this momentum, change up some of his timing, seeing there with the stand fierce. We haven't really seen that come out in the neutral too much, but now the big old damage coming out of Brian. Dash up, no, just gonna go for the overhead setup.
EX Fireball, Brian chooses to advance behind it. Now the stones are activated. I have to imagine that was supposed to be the little command jump that he tends to do, but maybe he didn't find the charge or something weird there. I don't rightly know, but we've nullified most of the stones. The stones have been disrespected. There is the activation out of Shine. What is the next up going to be? Blocks the instant overhead there, does Brian, but still gets smoked by the throw, and Shine still has 2 kunai, 2 EX bar to try to make something happen out of this.
And thankfully gets to carry those bars all the way over into the next round. This is the big one, the round that decides who goes up 2-1. Put the onus on the other player to have to win 2 straight games. Who's going to take this one? Brian F, Shine, both of them have been swinging in this neutral. Both of them have been having good reads of one over the other. But here we go, the big old jump, the verticality.
I gotta say as well, like I've specifically called out that, quote, Shine does not miss a back strong anti-air, and then Shine goes and misses a back strong anti-air. It feels like this is not his set. Is Brian gonna have the damage in order to close this one out? No, this is far too much scaling, but it should be a one-touch situation. The cross up, the little corpse hop on the flip tech there. Brian up 2-1 over Shine.
It's definitely one of the I know that you know that I know situations where Shine's like, I know that you can end up in behind here, so I'm gonna block like you're gonna go in front. But then Brian F was like, yeah, I know that you already know this, so that's why I'm gonna cross you up anyway. Levels of Yomi here, going back and forth, just trying to get ahead of each other. But big old crush here, reading the fireball timing, but get your hands off me. No throw with the light DP reversal.
Oh, interesting. Going representing an anti-air fireball there for a second. It looks like Brian is maybe worried about Shine going to the air. I feel like there's not been too much of it. Shine really wants to play this ground game, especially when Shine is fishing for exactly that situation. Oh, we're gonna get a big crush counter punish here. We're still not gonna have all of the damage that we need. Goes for the tick throw, no bite.
Yeah, now super dangerous. Too many kunais here. Yeah, look at this. Just one more now in order to close it out. Just needs any touch. But if anybody's got Brian's back, it's the stones. But fortunately, it's not the back that Ibuki's attacking. It's your front side. It's gonna give Shine another round here. Let's see if he's able to ride this momentum and tie it up to a piece. Or Brian F is going to be able to use this excellent defense, this neutral prowess that he has in order to maintain his lead here.
Right, finding the throw. Shine has Brian locked down. Love that. There's that. That was even a really late back strong anti-air, and he found the command dash after in order to get out of the corner. Next touch could be the stun, depending on it. Oh, we're not even going to need it. Just finds the additional throw. Shine is tying this game up 2-2. We're going to a game 5 for our winners finals.
Yeah, I was talking earlier about how the psychology can be. Like, you go down 2-1, and you're like, oh, now you have to win 2 games back to back. But Shine, the way that he won that, is definitely feeling like, yeah, what if I'm down 2-1? I'm going to win this one, and then I'm going to have momentum, and I'm going to win the next one. And what are you going to do about it? And that's definitely how Shine is trying to ride into this one, but miss on the kunai situation afterwards, and now just at about 50% life deficit to Brian already.
We've seen him be able to come back from this, though. But what I would say is, like, even in terms of the ability of these characters to have volatile swings off of the V-trigger, Stones is just a much better comeback V-trigger. And if Brian is able to get Stones in a spot where Shine is already on the back foot, the threat of throw becomes even much more dangerous, right? So it turns it into a win-more situation, and Shine gets one mix-up off of the kunai, really, depending on the hit. You're in a really tough spot here, and Brian finds the anti-air, takes it to set point.
Round 2.
Okay, standing strong, nothing really comes of it. Fishing with that B skill, but Brian gets the pickup right into the EX, pushing us back. A very slight life lead now for Brian, but I love that Shine is still trying to check these dashes.
Oh, that could have been a really bad crush. Instead, it looked like Shine wasn't ready with the inputs there and too far to get the confirm into the EX Rida. Instead, just going to have to go back here to this neutral, just pressure it out a little bit here. Oh my goodness, this is actually super tight right now. Both of them are playing this neutral incredibly close to the chest. Brian F trying to get some good old fireball situations, but that jump seems a little peculiar. Maybe wanted to throw the air dagger like that, but missed the input or something like that. And now look at this pressure starting for Shine. Got the overhead to dodge the throw, tying it up. In this final set, it's going to be final round here to see who moves into winner's side of grand finals. Brian F or Shine. Who's it gonna be? Let me get the ones in chat if it's Brian. Let me get the twos if you think it's gonna be Shine.
This has been crazy. What a whip punish from Shine to get the party started, right into the throw, reset back to neutral. But now, when Shine has the life lead, he can sort of wait it out a little bit more. We've talked about, you know, when you have the life lead, whose job is it to walk into the aggressor's range? And with Shine being in the driver's seat here, this is massive for him. Brian wants for the bust out, and that should do it. Indeed, it will. Shine is able to close this one out. A tight
Losers finals. 15 minutes before
we're-
11 o'clock.
We're
Yeah, I'm
like
good.
45 minutes past me being able to get a decent dinner. So
All right. Well.
Oh,
Anyway, here's Brian F versus XFINESSE.
Snixie asks, will the legendary Nagaremi compete in Street Fighter 6?
no, legendary is a subjective term.
That
I
sounds
don't
like a
think
deflection to me.
I don't think I'm legendary at all. But you know what pays better? My real life job. It pays really well. So I'll probably continue to play as a hobby in my free time, but I will unlikely be as competitive as I was. Which is to say, I wasn't that competitive in 5 at all. I barely entered tournaments outside of my local. So probably a similar vibe. I'll play at my locals and see what happens. Just like how Brian F is looking at what's happening here, and it's called cooking XFINESSE right now.
Yeah, even sending the crouching strong through the activation of the V trigger, definitely demonstrating they're like, all right, word, you can't just do this defensively. This is what it feels like when you do this to people. And has Brian been the missing link? Is that all that it's taken for us to shake up these top threes here at Casa?
I guess. This also feels like a normal top 3, right?
Sure.
XFINESSE, Brian F, and Shine feels like a normal top 3.
Sure, except we haven't had Brian in a while, and XFINESSE hasn't been outside of the top 2 in as long as I can remember.
And there's no Punk tonight.
Also true.
Or no Mena.
Ooh, no Mena. Capcom Cup champ. 2-time. Only 2-time.
Yeah.
Only 2-time, he says.
The only 2-timer.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Okay,
how I meant it.
that's
not
an
only 2
inflection.
times.
That's the. I got mixed by the inflection.
Sorry. I'm not East Coast anymore. I'm sorry.
What does that have to do? You're like, oh, my Cali accent made it sound derisive?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh
But
my
it's
God.
Look
not
at
Fine.
college-educated
Out here for
Brad
Brian.
using big words again.
Rice.
You know what, Doc? For your birthday, I'll get you a thesaurus.
How's that going to help me
That's
with
another
the
big word.
derisive?
One day you'll look up the synonyms for derisive, and you're going to see it, and you're going to be like,
Wouldn't-
oh, word.
Wouldn't a dictionary be better so I can learn the definition of it?
Are you just
No,
going to
well,
look
you
up
need
every
the
word
2-in-1
that I say?
combo. You need the 2-in-1
Yeah.
combo.
That's fair. But then I have to buy him
I
two
think
books.
I think Webster still makes the 2-in-1. You can buy that's all, folks.
No, there's
Oh my
still
God,
more. It's only game 1.
The V skill whipped, but Brian has been able to stabilize this a little bit, has the more advantageous screen position, but XFINESSE is slowly pushing out and still has that life lead. So Brian having a little bit of a harder time trying to own that space, being at a life deficit, a little bit afraid to compete with the space that XFINESSE is claiming.
Ooh,
you thought.
read the chicken feet, baby. And you still have to deal with the feet trigger. Oh no, the words.
Yeah, XFINESSE, I feel like XFINESSE has answers for all of the options that you might choose in order to get away from. Damn, you thought too. What an echo of how the first round of game 1 ended. V
The
trigger
words is
1 on
Brian-
activation of
the-
P1 corner.
Brian spent a meter after activation. I don't think he thought Flicker was going to come. I think he tried to chicken feet out.
Maybe. But what I was gonna say is, you know, when you watch XFINESSE, you can see that, you know, all of the commonly used options to try to get away from VT, XFINESSE has these routes that are like, and you're back in. That was all pointless. All you've done is lose more health and more screen position.
Yeah.
Right? V-trigger activation, we're able to waste one of the ticks on the fireball trade. No! Brian gets caught out. XFINESSE does not confirm off of the jab tick, though.
Ooh, guess for game. And he wakes up buttons. Oh my goodness, this might seal it for Brian if he's able to find this hit. Cross up, no, stayed in front this time. Back throw, and they're kind of out of there.
Double dash gets away with it. The stones are gone. This is still one touch for Brian, but it is also one touch for XFINESSE, who has that one bar in the back for the punctuation mark on the flicker. So you do need to be worried here. Wow, that was a brave fireball in that spot. Fishing with the low forward here is Brian. Any touch to do it. No whip punish on the flicker. We're so afraid.
So afraid of there being like a second flicker there that just steals that space. You're like, I don't want to push anything too early. And then by that time, it's too late, and that's going to tie it up one apiece for XFINESSE. And really what changed between game 1 and game 2, XFINESSE really just staying in that pocket where 1-2-3 is going to be more effective, getting this life lead and just kind of whittling down Brian hit over hit.
Trying to play this neutral right now. The flicker is just so oppressive. Brian having to represent reversal a little bit in some of these spots. Damn, that worked out great for Brian. Finally found the spot for the chop to work out for them. Plus frames off the fireball. Look at how wide a gap they left. But XFINESSE is so patient on defense. Just waits, just as I say that.
Yeah, you can only wait so long for 59 by every time, by the way. So good to just play off that meme. But like, you can only wait so much. You always have to come to a point where it's like, I've been waiting, I've not been taking my turn, and then just like you don't find the spot, and then all of a sudden you're in a much worse position. But that's exactly where Brian wants you to bait, and he set it all up just for that one bait. But right now, XFINESSE the one getting to set up all these baits, waiting to see if Brian's going to be the one whipping a throw. But instead, Brian finds the opportunity to get the crush and get the combo to put back into the corner, so that way he can get some of his own pressure going here.
XFINESSE gets the pickup. We're able to push back to mid-screen, block screen out just to get back into flicker range. EX fireball from Brian to try to make something happen. I have to imagine that was supposed to be some sort of a mix-up, or that just didn't really pan out. And once again, XFINESSE just in the spot of like, word, I'll block it out. I'll respect the stones. I've seen the t-shirt.
Ooh, no bite there on the throw, and finds the perfect range for the stand medium kick where it's not going to connect even on counter hit, and the big EXDP going to work out there for Brian. And now it's just a game away for both of these players, or one guess, right? One outplay, one touch, any confirm for either side.
22 seconds left on the clock as well. XFINESSE has the very slightest of life leads, and the problem is, well, now off of that crouch strong, they certainly have more. But what I was going to say is the fact that this flicker is really one sort of the poke that is determining the pace of this neutral game, but also generates chip damage, makes things difficult for Brian. XFINESSE is able to close that one out off of the negative frames and smoke out Brian, who had to take a big risk in order to make that happen. But yeah, what I was saying is in those spots where life is so low and the time is so low, the fact that flicker is the poke, but it's doing chip damage and gray life really makes those drawn out sets go a little bit more in Ed's favor between these two.
Yeah, and it's just like literally watching your life just get whittled away every like 5 HP at a time. But all that, 5 HP ain't that much, and if you're able to find the hit, that's a really much better situation for you. But look at all this, gets the touch, gonna hit the confirm this time, tried to extend the combo, instead just gets the mix up, one more for the road, and that's all it's going to take to put XFINESSE up 1 in the set, 2-1 in his favor. That one extra little mix, he got but one extra mix up off of it, went with the neutral jump, ended up catching Brian off, and look at that, just on the verge of going into grand finals here.
Yeah, this is crazy, but again, it would be far from the first time, not even like the 8th time we had seen a grand finals of Shine and XFINESSE. But I think Brian can make this happen. I think just the difficulty here is the longer the set is going, the clearer it is that XFINESSE is getting a little bit more comfortable of like, all right, this is the range where I just block it out. This is the range where I can rely on flicker. And I think Brian is having some difficulties trying to innovate on his offensive game. I also want to highlight that it feels like he's having to use this the V-skill grab in order to change screen position and try to get corner control, but has not been able to keep that corner control. So we're sacrificing damage and Oki for screen position that we're not really doing a great job of hanging on to.
All right, but trying to hang on to it here with the V trigger. Gets the bait on the EX upper and should have plenty of damage here in order to maybe just get the stun, maybe just go for the kill. He's going to try to optimize it as much as possible. Decided he couldn't get the stun and that he was just going to spin the full CA to make sure that he seals the deal and takes a round.
Right, that's definitely the type of performance that we needed to see. It is a shame that he did have to spend that bar. Obviously, that would have been great to bring into the next round, but, you know, you got to take the dub, especially when you're down a game against a player of XFINESSE's caliber. And I like that Brian is representing between, you know, the feint double jumps, neutral jumps for pokes, and, you know, a little bit more of like the step kick, like the roundhouse. Just bringing different ground buttons to the equation to be like, all right, I'm going to make you a little bit less comfortable with how you represent flicker on the screen.
Ooh, couldn't hit the light confirm to get the side swap combo. Didn't get heavily punished for it, but still locked down in this corner. You can't let this go to his head. Brian got to be resilient here. Find the option to get out of this corner. Has a full V trigger, and that's when you see that XFINESSE. He ran all of his turns and is like, okay, you have V trigger. I don't have a next option here, so I'm just going to walk back. Look for you to walk into some of these flickers, start doing some, you know, start wearing you down, you know, mentally as well with this patience until I can get you back in this corner and start getting my pressure again.
Exactly like that, which forces Brian to activate on a blocking XFINESSE, which means while we were able to get that throw off of the V reversal, unfortunately, that is all that Brian gets for his V trigger. 23 seconds left on the clock. Brian with a life deficit. This is a situation that we've seen already. That being said, Brian now has CA, can definitely make this happen off of a single touch. XFINESSE, I would be surprised if XFINESSE hits a button at any point. God damn, I can't believe you hit a button at any point.
You have to be a little bit threatening. Tried to bait up the throw there. It wasn't going to be enough. And then just one more flicker to put himself up on match point here. Is XFINESSE going to be able to do it? Is Brian going to be able to tie it up 2-2? We don't quite know yet. XFINESSE has been that extra bit of clutch, especially right towards the end, because he's just been so good at dodging this V-trigger. Like, V-trigger's always been the main thing, right? So you're really seeing that, like, if this V-trigger is negated or you can't get a lot of damage off of it, Brian ends up in a pretty bad spot.
Absolutely. We're going to trying to go for the jump in there. XFINESSE still ready with these anti-airs, trying to bring in the neutral jump as footsie options once again that I highlighted in the previous round, but it seems like XFINESSE is still doing a great job of really controlling the space in front of him, walking Brian to the corner, and then smothering him and making him uncomfortable. He had cycle upper to put Brian on the back foot. Brian sitting fully loaded. Call his man Herbie. Get the pickup for the counter hit starter on the medium kick. Cashing out with the grab to reset you back to the corner. How much are you going to respect the stones? The V reversal gets out, and XFINESSE has managed to evade most of the stones. You thought you could take this space. Nice counter hit starter there for Brian, but we are limited on the resources. This is set point for XFINESSE, and any touch could do it, and we have V-trigger available.
Oh, and you went for the grabber. Jump out there wasn't going to be the situation. XFINESSE, you know, it's looking scary there at the end for a second, but as soon as Brian spent the last bar just to get that EX fireball, it was looking rough, because then you have no fear in the next confirm that hits, right? You're perfectly fine if you're XFINESSE there, and you have your V trigger. Got that activated, got the situation all on deck for him. So GG's to Brian, going out in third place after not
how we are always used to seeing these two, even if we are used to seeing them in grands here. So is XFINESSE going to be able to run the gauntlet and come away with this money, or is Shine going to sit pretty up in winner's side?
Yeah, I mean, that is the question here. We saw them both earlier, and it kind of went down to the wire where Shine was just able to eke it out. I say eke it out. It was 3-1, but it felt really, really close to that. Like you could really feel that the history between the two of these players. Alright, so we're gonna just see that history come right through there, checking him, getting the kunai, trying to get this pressure. Just needs one more touch for the kill, but XFINESSE not willing to go out without a fight.
Right, finds the throw. The kunai is nullified. Oh my god! XFINESSE, this seems to be a hallmark of the early bits of these XFINESSE sets so far tonight, where in the first couple of rounds, XFINESSE ends up on the back foot, has a couple of shoddy V-trigger activations that get smoked out, but as the set goes on, they get more acclimated to the way that their opponent is playing neutral, and they get more and more comfortable.
Oh my goodness, just caught Shine moving there. Not quite sure why, but now locked down in this corner, losing a lot of life. Got the juggle confirmed for the stun, and that's so much damage. It's not going to be enough to kill. Going to need one more situation after this, but it is looking rough. But going to spend one of the bars just to get him off. Has a long road ahead of him. Shine needs to play this without getting touched for the most part, but this 1-2-3 flicker is going to be enough in order to close it out. It's so hard to avoid that.
Yeah, and I don't think that Ibuki is really the comeback swing character that she was in earlier iterations of her character in this title, right? Even with V-trigger and the X-bar there, you could only cycle your offense back and get these, you know, messed up mix-ups, you know, 1 or 2 times, and they're a little bit more limited. So if you have to 100-0 someone, it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, a lot of touches that you need, and every touch is a potential that your opponent guesses right to get out of the situation. Which is why XFINESSE is trying to do as much damage as possible, has this corner situation. But yo, that made me so shocked I forgot how to say words. Did I actually whip on his flicker with the shuriken? And now look at this corner situation, entirely flipped around and got the big bait on the EX upper. That's the stun, and that's actually going to be enough to kill.
Oh, is it going to be enough with the CA? While we have this animation, I will welcome all of you. Thanks, Brian, for the raid. Thanks so much for coming out. It was great to be able to watch you again. We hadn't seen you come through in a hot minute. We hope that all of you will stick around for the rest of this grand finals, however many games it may be. Shine up 1 and in the winner's side off rip. Gonna have to see how this is gonna go out. Yo, if you guys like XFINESSE to make this comeback, let us see the 1s in the chat. If you think Shine is gonna take this, let's see the 2s in the chat.
Yo, at this point, I hope every single person pushes 1 to see XFINESSE win, who knocked Brian out of the tournament.
I am only seeing
as everybody presses
far.
2s. Well, Shine did also knock Brian down into losers. So. All right, one more touch, guess, for game situation. Get the perfect.
What did I say, right? Like these first games for XFINESSE, it seems like it's a lot of getting used to what their opponent wants to do again. And then the longer the set goes on, I think XFINESSE does a really good job of adjusting over the course of the set. I think the thing here that makes the matchup between XFINESSE and Shine difficult is Shine is also incredible at adjusting through the course of the set.
100%. I think we said it in their earlier match where it just felt like XFINESSE would change something, and then like, he would win a round, and then Shine would change something and win a round, and then they would have this battle in the 3rd round to be like, okay, who's gonna counter adapt again, or who's just gonna stay the same, to see like what part changes and what part stays the same. But Shine this point looking pretty good. Has to deal with the rest of this V triggers, getting gripped up a couple of times, but.
Like, you're all the way back at the corner, but it only costs you these throws. You still have the life lead. You have all these resources to you. Yes, spend the view reversal. That's the thing that we saw Shine being really greedy about when he played on winner's side. I think Shine was sort of televisioning in on, like, I really would love the... Oh, no!
That's... Because I was like... I had the thing for a second, so I was like, oh, why did the screen just freeze like this? And I looked and be like, did it actually spin the meter? And it did. That's the absolute worst. But Shine's not letting him affect that. He's going in this wholeheartedly here. Was, again, willing to spin the meter to chip. And so at the end of the day, you were like committed to going into this round without any meter anyway.
Right, you see XFINESSE now firmly in the driver's seat. And all of these rounds where XFINESSE is able to get their opponent cornered and come away from that interaction with the life lead before XFINESSE gets V-trigger are rounds that I think XFINESSE tends to win. We're going to have to see. Shine is going to push back. Okay, spin the extra bar for the mix-up. It's just going to be the throw. A second throw before even I was prepared to tech that second throw.
Oh my goodness, was not getting him to bite on that shimmy. Instead, ended up getting 1, 2, 3 flickered on, and now we have the big old V-trigger coming towards you slowly. There's still like 3 hits left of that.
Crazy. It earned really... XFINESSE damn near full block string to that. Coast to coast. And that's what I was going to say is the reason that XFINESSE feels so dominant in those rounds where they come away from the first interaction with corner control and the life lead is because Shine is going to do all that work to swing the life lead back into his favor, and then XFINESSE is going to get V-trigger and push you back into the corner as a result of the interaction. So if XFINESSE corners you before V-triggers on the table, you're dealing with Ed's corner offense twice minimum. Full stop.
Yeah.
XFINESSE takes the game.
I want to point out there was a point where Shine did 2 throws in a row and then didn't go for the third one. And then XFINESSE went for the third one. And he ended up winning that game. So what does that tell you?
Right.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. That jump in goes unanswered, but Shine isn't ready to capitalize off of the standing strong that comes after it. Taking his turn with the low short, just keeping XFINESSE honest so far. That neutral jump went to bait out the back strong, but okay, this is another one of those rounds that's looking like it's going to be tough for Shine as he's surrendering space, having to spend these resources to try to keep towards the middle of the screen, but down approximately 50% life. And once XFINESSE does get V-trigger, as Shine's V-trigger is now removed from the equation, only getting a throw out of it, and this V-trigger coming out now, if XFINESSE is ready to check Shine, who does get away with just jumping over it, XFINESSE wasn't ready to blow him up for it.
Oh my goodness, flicker 1, 2, 3 exclamation point just to spin that bar. Trying to make sure that we're doing this good enough damage. Now with this lively, just able to kind of run away from Shine. Doesn't have V-trigger. Not really willing to spin the EX kunai to try to move forward a little bit here, but got hit one more time. We got some mixes going here, but just the block out here. Look at that gray life racking up.
This is so difficult, but that's a nice starter here for Shine, but as long as
15
XFINESSE
seconds.
feels comfortable teching, still has the life lead. No! Caught reach and Shine is teaching. Finally managed to make that round happen. If XFINESSE had been able to stall, ending up cornered even a little bit longer, I think that would have been so much harder for Shine. All right, XFINESSE starting to look a little bit more active this round than we've seen in some of them, and Shine, I think, is really comfortable with that as a decision because it makes Shine's poking style work out much more effectively for him versus having to deal with flicker and trying to contend with that.
All right, but got the air command dash to get out of there, right over the rest of that V-trigger. Now just finishing with the low medium, finds the confirm with the EX kunai. Now has this corner with the conversion, excuse me, to go up 2-1. Since Shine's on winners, that's one more game in order to close this out right here, right now.
Yes, indeed. Thanks to everyone who's been sticking with us so far tonight. You may well be catching the end of this. $150 in the pot and Shine up 2-1 on the winner's side. XFINESSE is going to have to make some adjustments here if they're going to want to be able to bring this one forward. I think being more active on the ground, there's just... It seems like there's a loss of just a little bit of the composure that I associate with XFINESSE that I think that Shine is capitalizing on really well here.
Oh my goodness, both under the forward medium, didn't even want to deal with it. But this time the stand fierce is just it. The wireless thing to me, if you charge Ed's Fierce just right, it actually becomes faster than if you just push it. It becomes 7 frames instead of 9 frames. That's wild to me. Just as wild as that mix-up. Ended up on the same side as the original. And got the full confirm off of it too. That was kind of nuts from XFINESSE. Getting the grip and dip once. Do it again. No, this time just going to go for the walk-up. Looking for the buttons. Trying to whip punish it. Gets hit himself. And that's Shine's definitely going to kill off at this one.
Absolutely. Had to spend the 2 bars for it, but that means that Shine has 1 more bar to bring into what may well be the final round. Shine on tournament point here. XFINESSE, this is, I mean, as close as their match was on the winner side, Shine is just looking so much more composed here. And Shine's been, you know, cooling off a little bit. XFINESSE has been the one playing down through the loser's side in order to get to this point.
Oh,
Nice anti-air.
Yeah, it was just both willing to wiggle in place a bit to see who was going to bite. No whip punish on the Sandfierce, and that means low forward activation. Tries to get the mix going, but no bites at all. XFINESSE just willing to take it all, find the charge fierce, get out of the corner, and just EX upper. Shine walked into it, completely unexpected.
Yeah, this is looking like it's going to be a really tough round for Shine to close out, and indeed now I think nearly impossible as XFINESSE finds the tick throw off the crouching jab to close out that round. If Shine is in the corner and has not done sufficient damage to XFINESSE, like if he's too far behind by the time Shine is able to get out of the corner, it feels like the round is just fully a wash.
Yeah, absolutely, and you say that, and it's just Shine in the corner early here.
Okay, but the air EX kunai blowing up XFINESSE's anti-air tendencies. Just like that, we're back to mid-screen, and Shine poking away with these low forwards. How are we going to deal with Flicker? Just sticking low forward out right at the tip to deal with it. Having that slight life lead here makes a big difference, but XFINESSE is so comfortable blowing up Shine's aggressive poking tendencies. It's like I said, when XFINESSE loses that composure and starts to play a little bit more active, Shine ends up in a great spot. But now XFINESSE is clamped up a little bit. Shine is having to be the one hitting more buttons, and that's exactly where XFINESSE wants to be.
All right, until you get hit and end up at this life deficit. Toss up one time, but immediately woke up. Jab, flicker, exclamation point. Going to find the point for the activation as well. Did the fast version, so not going to get too many mixes, and that doesn't even matter because he don't need the mix. He just needs you to get hit.
Ed wins.
All right, game 5. For a second there, I thought Shine was really going to be able to take that. But again, just XFINESSE does such a good job of closing out the round.
Fight.
Like, it's truly not over until you have finished XFINESSE.
So we're really just sitting here seeing who's going to get these first couple of pokes here, establish this life lead. Right now it looks like it's Shine, but that can quickly turn around. Look at that, 2 down medium punches on the counter hit conversion, but the strong whip punish on the flicker with the fierce into DP. Corner control for Shine now, getting the plus frames too. But nice tech on the throw, finds the opportunity for the activation. Did it a little bit early too, so that means there's going to potentially be a second activation for XFINESSE if it comes to that.
It doesn't seem as though it's going to. One more touch is going to be the stun here for Shine, who has to slow down in order to stabilize a little bit. But all we have is Shine's V-trigger, and it's not going to lead to as big of a swing as Shine is going to want it to. Really going to, I expect them to desperately want an activation off of a confirmed low forward. That was your opportunity. You did not take the shot. Who knows if you're going to get another one?
Yeah, but at the same time, definitely he's going to need more than one hit here. Maybe just trying to stack up some gray life first, try to get a little bit of things going. Oh, the kunai walked into it, so it's not going to get the plus frames at all. You end up very minus on landing. XFINESSE now turning around on reset point. Are we going to go the distance?
We truly might. And you know what? It wouldn't be an XFINESSE Shine Casa Grand Finals if they didn't reset the bracket on us, or at least tease us with the possibility of it. You see, Shine is being forced to be really active again, and that's the thing that I had called out. Whichever one of these two is being really active is the one that is getting blown up a little bit. Shine wanted to use those V-reversals, but is now so far behind that I feel like had to tunnel vision in on the V-trigger, and XFINESSE is going to reset the bracket with a perfect to bring us back to 0-0. Everybody on the loser side. I'm gonna go back to the lobby and take a breather, but it is all tied up. Anybody set. Who is taking it tonight, Nagarumi?
Oh, you can't put that on me. Put it on the stream. Start a prediction. It's not on either of us. The stream can
Well,
decide.
I did. I asked the stream when Brian F's Raiders came through. I said, hit me with the 1s and 2s if you like XFINESSE or Shine. And I saw a lot of 2s. But clearly, y'all, not enough of you said it. Because, okay, I'm going to derail that thought. XFINESSE in chat. Ed needs an overhead.
Sir, you just reset the bracket. You're doing fine.
You
Doctor, can you also go
did
back
not-
of Q? Doctor, can you,
You
go back
did not
of Q in the
just
line?
come in here after you won and go, my character needs more. All right, y'all. Final set of the
Not
night.
let him cook.
Ed VT1 should be an overhead, says Space Boy.
Kappa. You can't leave the Kappa out right there.
No, I did. I'm editorializing.
Oh my goodness, trying to start fires out here.
I've been taking
Yo,
shots
who-
at Space Boy all day.
Hold on, who put like 11k down on XFINESSE?
Wow. You know what?
You
Just for
ruined
that-
my odds.
Nah, hold up. Waiting for result. Oh, I missed the submission window. Damn it.
Hey, that's on you, bro. You saw the big pop-up on screen, and we talked about it. Just like how we've been talking about this match for like the last 20 minutes, we're going to talk about it some more. We're going right back in, reset the bracket. No changes up on V-skills or characters. We're just playing the same old thing. But maybe it'll be different this time.
Well, we'll have to see, but I think right now XFINESSE is off to a great start, and Shine has to not feel great for the position that they are in right now. As Zaku says, it was me. I've watched a few Casas. I don't see XFINESSE lose much. That's a safe bet, especially if XFINESSE already has reset the bracket here, coming back from a 2-game deficit in order to make it happen. Looking kind of nutty, but nice confirm off of the crouching strong buffer there for Shine, having this good screen position now, but the problem is, boom, just like that, the V-trigger is out, and Shine is going to have to try to make a big play, which does not pan out for him.
Yeah, but still has this one chance. Has Shuriken available. Spins all the kunai, gets 2 back. Still a far cry. Spins it again this time, but the EX upper, knew that you were getting desperate and not gonna wait for the EX upper. Just gonna push jab into the low forward immediately, looking for activation. Get off me, XFINESSE says.
Slowly, even here with no buttons, just the wiggle step as XFINESSE is able to claim space off of the threat of Flicker. Shine really forced to try to contend with low forward, but XFINESSE's walk speed here on Ed also making that difficult. It just seems like Shine is not equipped as a character in Ibuki to really compete in the ground the way that he needs to, and then being in the back foot positionally, we're gonna have to see, is he gonna be able to make something happen here? Finding the cross up, damn, Ed didn't even turn around properly. How far are we gonna be able to keep that? Stays same side, that's gonna go for the, not even the stun, that's gonna be the kill on the round.
Hey, can we talk about how optimal that spacing was? Use the kunai, had enough plus frames to get the DP. Didn't have to spin the bar on the EX just to extend the combo. So excellent awareness there out of Shine. And a good start to this one, but immediately answered back by XFINESSE, spinning 2 of the bars, just a flicker for some extra damage. Now look at this, backing off, starting to play more of this neutral, wanting to see if Shine's going to walk forward and be that aggressor, walking to some of these flickers or low strongs or anything.
But once again, it's like I keep highlighting, we've watched so many games of this by now. When Shine is forced to be the one who's actively poking, I think XFINESSE loves to be in the position of trying to whiff punish with crouching strong into flicker. And when Shine is on the back foot, the only way to make XFINESSE respect you is to represent it. Thankfully, he finds a spot where XFINESSE is trying to charge a Psycho Knuckle, stays same side, goes for the throw this time, now has the life lead, and Shine is worried about giving XFINESSE any breathing room to bring out the V-trigger one, so we keep everything frame trap tight. XFINESSE tries to take their turn. They try and they fail. First game post bracket reset goes to Shine.
Yeah, who again, just like you said, was like, okay, I'm just gonna push this knee, look for you to shimmy, use EX kunai to get plus frames, rinse and repeat that until I eventually just go for the throw and kill you. And that's what it was at the end. Just did not want to let up on that offense. Let's see how XFINESSE is kind of going to adapt here. Looking to establish that strong lead, and again, maybe play a little bit more active so that way Shine doesn't have the opportunity to make the comeback as much, and we're seeing that already. The Oki finding some good pressure here.
My God, what a massive swing of a round. I looked away from my screen for 1 second, and Shine is stunned and getting the work done to him here in this corner. One more touch could do it for XFINESSE, keeping the turn. The meaty fireball connects. Perfect KO for XFINESSE to close out this first round now of Game 2 post-bracket reset. These two are not interested in making this dance go any faster. They're here for a long time, not a good time. But it is a good time anyway.
Yeah, some of us haven't eaten in like 9 or 10 hours, so
I think that's just called a fast.
at this point, yeah, unintentionally, I'm just hungry.
Jump forward, I'm sorry, dash forward goes unchecked. Shine works their way out. XFINESSE already has that V-trigger. You know what? If Shine is able to navigate around this V-trigger, that's actually going to be huge. Because now I think this is a life deficit where it is super possible for them to make this happen. One more touch right into the... Going for the throw there is actually super smart because most people would have expected low forward into V-trigger.
Yeah, now next touch for sure kills. Looking to find it. Stand light kick, low forward. Any of these kind of buttons are going to be able to do it.
Right
Can I
into the
release?
pickup.
Oh, did it too late!
Shine has been dropping the grab ender so many times, has to bust out with this, commit the extra bar to go through the V-trigger, but we secure the round.
Oh my goodness, the biggest not like this moment I've seen. Maybe just didn't charge kunai early enough in the combo, so then the release was late.
Maybe.
But at a certain point, you just go for like an EX Rida and you call it a day. Could have killed meterless, but it's fine. We're balling out here in the neutral again, poking under this big old orb, doing this in the EX just to be able to block some of the orb this time very safely.
That's huge. Shine is... I feel like Shine flipped the switch in his brain and has completely turned this around. Using the V-skill, even managing to navigate through the towards strong coming out of XFINESSE. Just zoning him out with the kunai spins, the V-reversal. I don't care about any of the energy that you're bringing to this table right now. So get some plus frames, connects at the low forward. That's 2 games up for Shine.
Ibuki wins.
Yeah, absolutely. Shine not letting the pace go in XFINESSE's favor at all. Turning it up to 11 here when it matters, right? Because it's just like, okay, we're in final round. We're going to pump this out. We're going to play a little bit snappier. We're going to be on top of our games to make sure that we can close out these games, not dropping any of the important stuff.
Right, Psycho Knuckle connects, but XFINESSE doesn't really have anything in the tank to follow up on it. And I just feel like Shine is looking a little bit more confident, just checking that forward movement out. But once again, that walk back, crouching strong out of XFINESSE, you can see that Shine is really fishing with the low forward, especially when they're on the life deficit. Activation, I imagine we just went out of the corner here. Slide just keeps it safe. Now we're actually just going to press all the way towards mid-screen without forcing the side switch.
Ooh, but whiffed on the forward roundhouse. That's going to be all XFINESSE needs. So whiff punish, jab into flicker, maybe just flicker itself. No, jab into flicker. And gonna be able to again try to get a game here after the reset. It's been all Shine post reset.
Nice punish there from Shine. Managed to buffer off that crouching strong in exactly the spot where XFINESSE wanted to try to make something happen. Even these trades, I mean, when you have the life lead here, the trades are okay. Raw activation out of XFINESSE. This is perfect for Shine. I wonder if we're going to see the same choice, right? EX kunai just force the block. No, actually just choosing to dash in and block it all himself. Be like, I'm going to choose to block this on my own terms. V reversal removes the final mix-up opportunity from XFINESSE, and now Shine has surrendered the life lead with a couple of careless poke attempts, actually, and is now on the back foot in the corner. Has to bust out with the EX reversal. Shine does have a V-trigger available to him, though.
Yeah, and you say careless. He was charging up V-skill at a good range, and XFINESSE dashed forward, closing that gap. But yo, just walking forward, doing a sweep, nothing to back that up. Just believed. After the throw, I don't know how I feel about that. Just had to read that XFINESSE likes to wake up, walk away.
point now for Shine. Is XFINESSE going to drag this one out, or is Shine trying to let Nagaremi go and eat? What's it going to be? Jump in, gets anti-aired. Shine trying to fight his way out of the corner, but XFINESSE low on resources right now. Doesn't really have a whole lot to play with. Shine off the buffer, off the standing short, and has V-Trigger already available, or maybe more importantly, having some view reversals available to a nice side switch off of the anti-air there from XFINESSE.
All right, but keeping this corner pressure going just a little bit as far as you can carry it without having to spin bar, and now we're just going to find the V-Trigger activation, tying up the life lead, but now look at this, XFINESSE has the big old orb on his side, and Shine's trying to pressure as much as possible so that it doesn't come into play, but 1, 2, 3 exclamation point, and there we find the activation, but EX Fighter right on through, keeping the pressure high in this corner. What is it going to be?
Oh, XFINESSE is able to close out the round. As tight as that was, you cannot stop the count. 1, 2, 3.
2.
Look, Ed's been counting to 3. We've been counting to 3 in individual movesets, but it's super possible that XFINESSE just started the process of counting 1, 2, 3 games. We're going to have to see how that's going to go, though. Is Shine going to cancel the funding for PBS? That's a weird angle to send that to.
Yeah. I don't know how to recover from that.
I don't know either.
To talk about this game right in front of us, because Shine just going in right now, getting this good old damage, but XFINESSE right there, still counting. You can always count on XFINESSE to know his 1, 2, 3s.
Okay, gets the light, confirms there to Shine, connecting with a lot of these low forwards, but unfortunately dashes into the standing medium kick. XFINESSE was ready to follow up behind the V-Trigger. Shine on the back foot in the corner, but having V-Trigger available, believed they had more space to control than they did and got smoked out by the flicker there. This is a tough spot for Shine to be in now. Are we going to be able to get anything out of this mix-up situation? We really don't get a whole lot. We kind of just get that throw, and all of these low forwards are not amounting to all that much. XFINESSE doesn't have a lot of room on the screen to play with, but Shine, being the one at the life deficit, needs to be a little bit more active, and as I keep saying, that's where XFINESSE wants to live.
Brad, I need you to breathe sometime.
I can go, man.
I'm just like listening to you sometimes.
I got great breath control.
Yeah, absolutely. You've been practicing and hustling, and look at this, practicing and hustling right now. Both of these players trying to wait out this V-Trigger. 10 seconds left on the clock. You end up blocking it. You no longer have the life lead, and you get clipped in the toes, baby. Trying to panic a little bit here.
Damn. Real shame is what you would say if you were a fan of Shine, as tight as that round was. But hey, maybe you're an XFINESSE fan and you are hugely into that early kunai release. Works out great that time for Shine. But there's a lot of posturing so far this round.
Posturing is always important. You got to figure out who's going to get that strong first hit. Leads to a lot of Oki. And it looks like it's going to be XFINESSE trying to get this corner situation going. Yeah, now sitting right under the clock so that he could look for the anti-air, but toss the fireball instead. Allows Shine to get out, find the crush counter. Now look at this. V-Trigger activated. What side? Guess again, baby, because it's not the side you thought. One more for the stun.
I am so glad
Go
that
ahead.
Shine knew, because it smelled like psycho uppers in here. And if Shine did not block that, then he deserves whatever happens to him in the rest of this set. But thankfully, Shine is at least as good as me, and I would dare say on their worst day is better than me and was ready to block that.
Yeah, he did actually go for the jab Oki and then was able to block. Classic slow reversal kind of mix-ups here, but XFINESSE standing at a much further range and just flickering to harass Shine this entire round. Being like, what you gonna do about it? You're gonna walk into more of these normals. You're gonna take more risks trying to get in, and now you have this big old life deficit, and XFINESSE is looking pretty strong here, but we've seen it all turn around with the Shuriken. Ooh, got the mix off of the regular one old kunai. Gonna take this corner situation, toss up one time, toss up two times, the third time, just go for it. No, instead just was frame trapping him. And that is going to be that. Shine able to spin that one last EX bar after all the kunai. And to take this, coming back from the deficit, he went for the cheeky reset, got the corner situation. And then was just, again, just there constantly, like just pressuring right after that reset. So good stuff to Mr. Tree Fitty himself. Get that shape up. You got some money in your pocket tonight because we hit this Match Arena 150. Of course, if anybody still wants to contribute, you can. There's still time for it. Head up the